in. Chief, I want you to elaborate on what is the church's role and responsibility, or the role and responsibility of the prophets, the apostle. Help us to understand what God is requiring, demanding, commanding of us in this era, in this dispensation, as He is rolling out piece by piece His sovereign plan.
That's an excellent question. And I almost wish that more people were asking it, because right now I think we're making a lot of assumptions. But God says one of the number one issues he had with Israel was the sin of presumption. And I think that we're kind of falling into that right now because we're basing it on a historical pattern of particularly what we experienced with God in the Americanized church that won't continue forward into 2022. So because God has to take back these principalities and powers, and like even we discussed here, that the only way God can do it is to dismantle what has been built up. You're talking about they've had since the early 1900s to get to the place now where they're ready to make the biggest strike ever against the church. So what does that mean for the apostles and prophets? One of the things that we have to do is first get clean ourselves. We have to do a lot of cleansing, purging, and consecrating of ourselves. And we've got to purge ourselves from a lot because if I may divert, and come back around and answer this holistically, is that okay? Because I fell into a dream. I went to go see Spider-Man, right? Because it was like something to do for Christmas. And it's crazy how, so many things nowadays are laced with all of this occultism. And it's purposeful. We know that that's a part of it. That's why I told you and started off this conversation about the devil having a occultic destiny for the earth versus Jesus' eternal destiny for the earth. Okay, when we think about that ongoing battle for dominion. And so, I didn't think much of it. I mean, the movie's fine or whatever in terms of that. I like to be educated. I don't necessarily go to be just entertained and to trend or follow. I'm not that kind of person, but I do like to be educated. Most of you guys know this about me, about what the enemy is doing. Right. I like to be educated on those things because they're seeding so much in our generation. So having said that, okay, I fell into this very interesting dream. All right. I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but I'm going to say the things that are important about what we're going to face off with as prophets, and why I say the first thing we're going to have to do is be purged, cleansed, sanctified, consecrated to the purpose of the Lord Jesus Christ, because we have become so culturally saturated with this narrative that we don't know. Okay, what is actually speaking in us and through us, and how to begin to use discernment faculties to know. Okay, because this warfare has gotten very sophisticated. All right. Yeah. So as a result, I'm in this dream. We're at some sort of event or conference or whatever. But when I'm at this in this dream, and we're preparing for a conference, and we're in a place where we're praying and interceding and doing some things of that nature, around this event. And certain things that are happening, at the time. Well, while we're in this particular room, praying and doing these things, okay, we're actually singing "Our God is an Awesome God." And what happens is that through the vent comes this very interesting creature. It is like made of liquid metal. And it slides through the shaft, okay, where the air conditioner and all that, the heating vent. So it comes through the vent, and I noticed it, and I'm like, whoa, what in the world is this? And what caught my attention was not when it came into the vent, but when it hit the ground, it began to move and slither. And so I said, whoa, what is this? So I go to grab it. Okay, it ends up biting me, and immediately my assistant says to me, oh, wait, hold on. I know exactly what we need to do. We need to get one of those millennial kits. I'm like, what in the world is a millennial kit? But inside of the millennial kit, you open it up, and there is 2 tubes for you to be able to conduct a mini blood transfusion, several different syringes, so that you, and several different vials that you can use to serve as anti-venom. Okay, so going somewhere with this for a reason. Of course, I'm sitting there thinking, what in the world? I don't even know what. Okay. So they go and they open up the kit, and, they said, okay, if you've gotten bitten by this serpent, is what they called it. And if you got bitten by the serpent, then you need to do a blood transfusion. And they began to put this mini little thing on me to look like something you were sticking for an IV. And they began this whole entire process. Well, I'm dumbfounded. I'm sitting there thinking, what is this? I go and ask a group of apostles who were also in attendance. And I say, hey, have you guys ever heard of this thing? It's like a millennial kit. And it comes equipped with blood transfusion stuff, anti-venom stuff. Like, what in the world? What is that even, for and about? And, they're eating and drinking and going on. And then one of them says, well, I think I might have heard a little something about that. I don't know. And so after that, the dream shifts, and I look up in the sky, Prophet CT, and this is the relevancy that I want to bring out here. I look up in the sky, and the sky is full of water, not clouds, water, like the ocean. And as I look up and see the sky full of this water, okay, floating by in the water is a sea turtle, this serpent, a spider, and a wolf.